Good morning. Welcome back to The Weekender. I'm Wade Cleveland. Now, you've probably been, or at least heard of, the Shanty Cafe and the store next door. And you may not realize that what those are YACRO social enterprise projects. And there's a real story behind this, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're joined by a couple of members of YACRO, the program director, Sandra Quesnel. Sandra, good morning.
Good morning, Wade.
And operations manager, Aimee Acker.
Good morning, Wade.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Very good.
Thank you very much for being here. Let's start with YACRO itself. I remember YACRO, and I guess it stands for it anyway. It's Community Residential Options. At what point did residential options become a social enterprise? At what point did somebody say, you know, we should be doing something else?
Well, almost right from the very beginning, YACRO recognized that there weren't a lot of employment options available in the smaller communities. In the city where we have some of our operations, they had many more opportunities. But here in Yarmouth, there were very few opportunities for actual employment, and it was difficult to get too many employers on board here. So we talked many years, actually, about what we needed to do to correct that. And finally, in about 2010, we decided that with our children becoming adults and not having a lot of opportunities, that we were really going to need to get into the business of employment ourselves. So we set about trying to figure out what kind of a social enterprise that we could create that would offer meaningful employment to the people that we supported on the residential side of the house, and then how to expand that into the community at large.
Okay, so the first thing that happened was the Shanty Cafe?
The first thing that happened was the Shanty Cafe, although it didn't really operate as a social enterprise model. We opened up on Main Street a small cafe where really it was just 3 people from one of our homes here in Yarmouth, and people could come in and sit and read a newspaper and have a cup of coffee. So it wasn't really a business in any way. And then we moved to Central Street and started to operate a little more towards a social enterprise model. But it wasn't until we opened our soap and candle company, Always Us, in 2011, that we really began to look at the social enterprise model. And for us, the social enterprise piece means that people coming in and being employed within our businesses would receive at least minimum wage for the work that they were performing.
Okay, and I've heard of instances in other areas where that is not the case, right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about that. I don't want you to badmouth anybody, but there are some models where people who are coming in to work aren't getting minimum wage at all.
Correct, yes. Some models operate where they come in and they work on a stipend, basically. So they put in their time and they're there doing jobs, but they're not being paid full wages for them.
Okay. Now, let's move from the shanty at that point to the soap business, because the soap business isn't here, not now anyway. Was it at the very beginning? I'm not sure about the soap business at all.
Yes, it was. We started it down at our location on Central Street, and
Right.
Actually that was when I really first came on board and got to figure out how it worked and how everything was made. And then as we grew bigger here, Metro location had taken it over.
Okay, so where is it located right now?
We're there at 1 Gloucester Court in Burnside.
In Burnside. And so that operation kind of runs separately from this one at this point?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
They have their own team, their own manager.
At what point did the Shanty Cafe become what it is now? Because it's quite a little operation right now.
It is. In 2013, we redesigned ourselves and we started to think about exactly the direction that we wanted to take the cafe in. And we'd had a small consignment store and we had a fairly large space. So we decided that we were going to create a community cafe. And we hired our first manager, Michael Carbonell, who was from Cuba, who came in originally as the manager of just the cafe, because that was our first social enterprise that we were doing locally on a full-time basis. And we worked with an Indian chef who we hired. And so the cafe was built on the premise of hiring people with barriers to employment. And at that time, Aimee was already employed with us.
Right.
And we quickly discovered that the community was embracing our menu. We had a lot of Cuban offerings and Indian offerings, and it was really kind of an interesting place to come. And things were getting really, really busy. And by 2014, we realized that we really needed somebody to take over the operations piece, that Michael Carbonell was really great with the PR and marketing side of the business. And we needed to be able to supplement that by having someone who could kind of keep the train on the tracks. And so Aimee, who had already been working kind of in a staff position at that time, agreed to, I always call it, get on the bus with us and become the operations manager. And once we had her in place and Michael doing the PR and marketing, the business just took off. The community embraced us like crazy, and we just kept expanding staff and expanding space. And over a 4-year period, we've done 3 expansions. And we had to push our vocational program kind of out of the building and convince our landlord to rent us the whole building so that we could continue to meet really what became a community demand.
Yeah, very much so. Aimee, at that point, that must have been kind of, I don't know, almost overwhelming. It's a busy spot there.
It's a very busy spot, and it is overwhelming at times, but it's great to see the community embrace us and all the jobs that we have created because of where we've gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about those jobs. How does it work? Does someone apply to you? Is it members of YACRO themselves who you go to, or do they say, I would like to work? Or how does this actually work?
So we work with the residents in the program for YACRO, and what we do with them is we try to figure out exactly what they're interested in and what they like to do, and then try to fit them in a job that works well for them, whether it could be in the cafe or maybe it's in the manufacturing where they'd be painting or whatever that might be. And with the community members, we do job postings as well, and we work with Southwest Employment Services to bring in people out there that have interest in working with us.
How many people are employed by, let's just go to the shanty, because this is a big story. There's a lot here. But let's stick with the shanty right now, and then we'll move on to the store next door. But in the shanty itself, how many people are employed?
I'd say with the cafe right now, we're about 20. It depends on the time of year, and it's kind of seasonal at times, but we range from 15 to 20 people.
And of those, how many are YACRO people?
I would say we have probably 5, yeah.
5 or 6.
I would say 5 to 10, depending.
Okay,
on
and that all depends. All right. Before we move to that piece, that's just something that I wanted to ask you about. It has to change a person when they feel that they have a purpose and they're getting paid for it, and that there's money, that they can go do whatever they want to. It's not just, it's independence, it's self-esteem. It all has to add into something kind of amazing.
We've actually recently created a motto for our social enterprise, and it has become changing lives one job at a time. We have a couple of really neat stories, and I think one of the biggest ones was at our AGM one year. One of the people who has come in and been employed with us for the last couple of years stood and spoke just right from the heart about how this has changed his life, how going to work, how he's never been able to hold a job his entire life until now, and going to work and being part of a team and earning money and going into the community and meeting with people, how that has completely changed everything in his existence. So it's incredibly, for me, I find it incredibly humbling to be part of this endeavor, because it's amazing to watch people that we're working with on the team come in and grow with us and change.
Right. Okay, let's go from the shanty to the store next door, which was the next step kind of in the story. At what point did you decide that was the direction you were going to go into?
Well, we needed to give the Shanty Cafe more space, and so we talked to our landlord, and he agreed that he was willing to rent us the whole building. So we actually were having a staff meeting in an open area on what has become the store. And we kind of looked around and we were determining whose office was going to go where. And we looked around and said, you know something? This would make a really good store. Mm-hmm. And from there, we started very, very quickly looking at, well, what does that mean? What could we do? What would we need? We made a plan, we made a list, and on the wings of an angel, it all came together, and I think that was probably in October. And in May, just before the long weekend in May, we were all done. The renovations were done. We had manufacturing up and operating, and we opened up the store. From
the very start, were you doing the broken hockey stick furniture? I didn't think so.
No. The hockey stick furniture started a year ago this past October.
It seems so much, I'm sorry, it seems so much longer than that because I've seen so much of it since then. That's an amazing story in and of itself. So you started a year ago. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. We did. It was Thanksgiving Day weekend, actually, and so we were off, Aimee and I, and the staff were not off, the community social enterprise employees, and they were really looking for something to do, and so we had some broken hockey sticks lying around, and when we came back in on Tuesday, Gage Crowell, who really was a focal part of this endeavor, came to us, and he had created a end table, correct?
Correct.
And I have to tell you, I kind of looked at that and thought, yeah, okay, well, who's going to buy that? Seriously? And Aimee and Gage convinced me that, they thought we were on to something. Aimee, if you want to go from there.
Yeah, well, and sure enough, we were, because the minute someone walked in the door and seen it, they bought it. And they were like, well, we need more. So we went from there, and we are up to 40 products now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's all customer-based products, really. It's what customers have wanted. We've taken their ideas, we've run with them, and we've turned them into products for them. So
you have turned something as simple as a broken hockey stick into a going concern. This is something it's spreading all over the place like wildfire as far as your presence digitally on Twitter and social media. I see this stuff everywhere. Congratulations, first off. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. We're really excited. It really has taken off, and we have shipped products all over. And a lot of the products in our catalog, they come from someone wanting a special order.
Okay.
And so we go through a process of pricing up that order, looking at it, thinking, is this really a viable piece? And if it is, and we create it, we then add it to our catalog. And so a lot of the pieces have come out of somebody else's desire to add something. And we actually, our folding tables, the TV tables, came from a couple in Dallas, Texas, who were looking for them and sent us some information, and they bought 4 TV tables from us online. And ever since then, we've created a number of products. We're working with a lawyer right now in Michigan? Milwaukee. And we're just getting his order ready. And we've created high bar type stools for him and special waste paper baskets. And so all of those items will be in our next catalog when it's ready to come out.
It's an amazing story. And how do you keep stock of broken hockey sticks? How does this work? Because, it's easy to say, well, let's take a few broken hockey sticks and make something. But when you're under that kind of demand, you have to have a lot of broken hockey sticks.
We're always asking for donations of hockey sticks. We can never have enough, I don't think. But we do have partnerships with Cleves through the Maritimes and the Canadian Tire Environmental Depot. So we're fortunate enough to get some supply from them. We do have local partnerships with a gentleman in Halifax as well named Stick Fix, and Requipped was one of our partners that came on board very quickly, but all the time we're canvassing, and we also have a drop-off box at the Mariner Center, so if you ever have any hockey sticks, you can drop them off there. We will pick them up and turn them into something pretty cool.
That's kind of amazing. So these people that you have partnerships with, they send you stuff regularly? How does it work?
Not normally on a regular basis. It's more seasonal,
okay.
Kind of when the hockey season's happening. And if we have a call or we need some, then we will reach out to them, and they will usually put us on their list to get it to us. But Cleves, we do once a month, a regular pickup, and we usually get quite a few from them. So,
do you run out of hockey sticks?
Well, sometimes. I wouldn't say we run out, but it's the size of the hockey stick because they're broken. We can't use, certain hockey sticks are used in certain projects. So if we're looking for a project that takes a really long piece, then sometimes we're getting low on that specific size. But yeah, we're always in need.
Okay. Sounds good. That's fantastic. Now, you guys just won an environmental award. Tell us about that.
Yes, we did. We won the Community Impact Award?
The Mobius.
The Mobius
yes.
Community Impact Award. And it's a great honor to receive that. A big part of what we do is to keep our products out of the landfill. So we're able to turn our hockey stick, we won it on the Hockey Stick Initiative. And we're able to keep quite a few hockey sticks out of the landfill by turning them into furniture. So.
All right. So how are you doing? Does the social enterprise make money, or is it a not-for-profit? How's it set up in that way anyway?
Well, we're part of the parent organization, so we're a registered charity.
Okay.
We do receive some government funding, but the government funding is not equal to our budget.
Okay.
So we're required to either do a piece of fundraising ourselves, which we've entered into starting this year, and we are also dependent on our parent agency. So I know people will often look and think that the social enterprise comes with government funding, but it really doesn't come with nearly the level of funding that we need to keep going. And we're certainly hoping that as the manufacturing side grows, that will improve our financial situation. But really just a year into the initiative, we're probably 2 to 3 years away from seeing any significant enough growth in that area.
All right, well, let's talk about fundraising now. I know from experience, because I had the honor of hosting it, that you guys did a fundraising dinner not that long ago. Time flies, I guess, but it's been about a month ago now. How did that do, and are you planning on doing more of that as it grows?
We did our first annual fundraiser on October 23rd. Thank you for helping us, by the way.
That was a ball.
And it was a huge success. It was overwhelming, the response we got from the community, the amounts of donations that came in. There were some pretty big ticket silent auction items, so it's something that we plan on continuing to do every year, and we hope to continue to grow it and get the word out there about it.
All right, so when people are going to the Shanty Cafe, they know that they're helping people in their community, and they're giving people in the community meaning, their life's purpose. I think it's a wonderful thing. The store next door, it's the same thing. And with the soap business, I always forget the name. I think I have Alzheimer's.
Always us.
Always us. And so congratulations to you on all of that. As Christmas approaches, let's get a shameless plug in, because I know that the broken stick furniture would make great Christmas presents for just about anybody. And there's more to the store next door than that either.
There is. We do custom signs for people. There's so much. If you come down, we have everything from driftwood shelves to wooden shelves to signs.
Lawn games, cement planters. It's amazing the amount of products that we do have, and we are very good at custom work as well. So we can pretty much make any idea that you have.
And if you have broken hockey sticks lying around your house and they're really your kids or your husband's and you're really quite attached to them, one of the things that we've done and hope to do a lot more are custom pieces that become heirloom treasures for families. So we've got a catalog of over 40 pieces. If you dream it, we'll make it. Anything that you would like for Christmas, anything you can think of, bring your sticks down, and we'd love to help you out.
Okay, how do you get a copy of the catalog?
Well, actually, we could put a copy online. The reason that we haven't done that is because we consider our store here in Yarmouth to be an outlet store. And so we have some special pricing. The prices that you see in our online catalog, which is available at thestorenextdoor.ca, would not equate to the prices that you can get if you come into the store directly.
Okay. Good to know. See, little local advantage. Ladies, thank you so much for coming. It's much appreciated, and hopefully you'll see a whole lot more business in the future.
Thank you so much, Wade, and hopefully we're going to see you at our next annual fundraiser along with a lot more people from the community.
Are you kidding? Don't do it without me. That was Sandra Quesnel and Aimee Acker from the YACRO Social Enterprise Project, and we'll be back with more on The Weekender right after this.